modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.
Good evening, the Black Americans house. How are you? I'm waiting for Brother Too Much, and there he goes.
Yo, yo.
Good evening. I am so sorry that I am tardy to the party.
It's all good. I had fell asleep too, man. I had a meeting today, man. I dozed off, but good thing I woke up in time and I still had the meeting. So, but I dozed off too. It's just one of those days.
Yeah, and it seems to be pretty rainy where I'm at. I can hear the raindrops. And it's weird
Mhm.
because I had my alarm set. I told my son to wake me up when he got home, and it just, you know, he said he tried.
Okay.
Yeah. So how have you been, brother? Too much.
Man, I've been good. I've been good. I can't complain. Just working hard, trying to get things ready. What we're doing in the Telegram and everything like that. So I'm just trying to make sure we have a smooth launch. How about that? Smooth launch.
Cool.
How do I share the live when I'm up here? Am I able to do that?
You might have to share it like via message because I do have this page private. I be cutting up on these panels sometimes.
Gotcha.
I find them weird when they get in my inbox and all type of.
Gotcha.
Yes.
It's all good. I told a couple people to come up in here. We'll see if they come up in here. If not, I know it's gonna be on I think you're gonna throw it on YouTube, so I'll tell them to go to the YouTube and check it out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So tonight, family, we're joined by Brother Too Much, also known as Too Much Moxie, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Too Much Moxie, he's a FBA activist, a true boss, and a serial entrepreneur who was the first to create a code of conduct or a constitution for foundational Black Americans. Too Much's platform covers many topics, including economics, and he created the first FBA coin. Even Tariq Nasheed has shown interest in his work. He's also made FBA music and merch. Enjoys debating and is a proud California native, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Proud California native. Proud.
So too much. Your panels are packed with wisdom and an energy that draws people in. For the folks just tuning in, what unique services do you offer and how can they tap in to connect with you directly?
Okay. So I do music. If y'all want to check me out, I have some music up on Spotify, all major streaming platforms. I have an album called Too Much for TV. Have another album called FBA Only. Have a couple little small singles out as well. I just released a new single called Black Mirror Foreign Lens. I'm working on a new album that's going to drop December 15th. So that's just one of the things I've been doing. I've been writing since I was like 12 years old. That's just kind of what I do. That's like a hobby of mine, but I'm passionate about it as well. I have a small e-commerce store called Mucho Art. You can check me out at muchoart.com. And I make I make clothes for myself, uh, mainly. But if people like my little signature FBA hat that I have, you can go on there and check it out. Get some T-shirts, get some hats, and also some canvas wall art. And I create all this stuff and I put it online and for people to buy. So you can go to muchoart.com and check that out. And we're also the project that I'm most passionate about right now is FBA Coin. We're in the midst of a launch. Um, I created me actually I cre- I created the vision for this coin, and I put out a first version of this coin. A guy by the name of Crypto Stock Marcus came aboard and helped out with the tokenomics, and he did a phenomenal job. And the tokenomics are by far there's nothing like it. I'll tell you like that. There's nothing like it. And this coin it has a rewards aspect. Thank you, Thickamia. This coin has a reward aspect. It's designed to create generational wealth for our people, uh, and it's also designed to keep money in our ecosystem. And one of the goals is one of the slogans is 365 days. We want money to circulate and stay in the black community for over 365 days. And honestly, this coin is designed to keep money in our ecosystem. So we're ready to launch. We're ready to go for generational wealth for our people. It also has a treasury attached to it, which is going to be used to benefit foundational Black American community. So it's a lot of things with this coin. If I would love to get into more detail about that, but that's just kind of the things that I'm working on right now. I do projects, and this, like I said, this is my main focus and my main project right now. And we're ready to launch in a little over a week or two. So stay tuned.
So, speaking of the coin, right? Too much. I had
Mhm.
invited Afro Lee because I don't know why
Shout
I
out
didn't
to
mention
Afro
it to
Ali.
him. Yeah, to him sooner, but I asked him to come here so that he can hear about the coin. And can you
Awesome.
tell him how to get in touch with you if he wants to know more, or if Afro
Yeah.
Lee, you have any questions for Brother Too Much regarding the FBA coin?
Yeah, how you doing, Afro Lee, man? I'm a fan of you actually, brother. I watch you on YouTube and I seen you on Twitter, brother, and you're doing a fantastic job, brother. So shout out to you.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. I am curious and interested in hearing about the coin and where things go. But as of right now, I don't have any questions. I'm just listening.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
Uh,
If you want any more information, if anybody wants information and want to do research on the coin, right now we have a website up, fbacoin.org. You can go to fbacoin.org. We also have a Telegram. We have a Telegram with over 100 people in there right now. I'm pretty active in that Telegram. Anybody can come in there, and everybody on the team, they can answer questions also about the coin. So myself or anybody else that opens up the VC in the Telegram, you can ask them about the FBA coin. They'll be able to give you pertinent information about it. And I tell everybody, man, crypto is the future, and we want to make sure we as foundational Black Americans are on the road or on the cutting edge of it, are involved in it, because this is going to be our way that we collapse time frames and build generational wealth to where we're able to compete on a global scale. We control about $2.1 trillion as a people, but we can do so much more when we start practicing group economics. And one thing I love about the coin is built in a way where it honors Dr. Claude Anderson. It honors Tariq Nasheed. I've spoken with him. He told me that he was going to do his own coin. I sent him an email as well. I told him to join our team because there's really no coin out there like this coin. This coin is not a meme coin. It's a utility token. It has smart contracts involved. It's designed to grow with our people throughout the generation. It's upgradable, meaning this is a living token. We have a DAO that's connected to that. We have a board of director or a department of operations, if you want to call it that. And we're doing this very sophisticatedly. I've given him. I've extended him an olive branch, man. I want him to be a part of our DAO and be a part of the vision of FBA Coin and what's going to go in the future. Now, whether Tariq Nasheed gets involved or not, we have already set aside coin for Tariq Nasheed and Dr. Claude Anderson because we want to honor them for the work that they've been doing in our community. So this is an amazing thing. We've never had anything like this in our community, and I'm just proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to have gotten the vision. I'm proud to be led by the ancestors and the Most High to do something like this. And this is not about any monetary gain for me. This is all about legacy and 100% for our lineage, man. That's why I'm doing this. So.
Ah, that's beautiful. Okay, so Tyreek is, well, not that he's going to join the team, but he's going to join the world of tokens and coins and stuff. And I was really surprised because there are a few of us who have like businesses attached and it has tokens attached. So I'm still learning, guys, so I don't have the correct verbiage. But moving on to question two, what sparked the idea for you to pioneer a code of conduct for foundational Black Americans? Was there a particular moment or story that lit the fire?
Yeah, man. I was actually on TikTok, and we were smashing down on some Africans and Caribbeans, and it was really just a rant. And the people said, "Hey, man, we need to be mobilizing and we need to be talking solutions." And when the people in my live started saying we need to mobilize and we need to bring solutions for our people, that's kind of when my mind switched over because I was in a rant mode. I was in a situation to where I was I was deeply saddened by the rhetoric that I was hearing from Africans and Caribbeans, and I couldn't believe that they would disrespect the very people that gave them a lane to come over here. And when the people said, "Hey, man, we want solutions," I said, "You know what? I got solutions." And that's when I realized that, we talk about a code, we talk about, practicing, getting on code with one another and doing great things together. I said, we need a code of conduct. And that's when I first did my first draft of the code of conduct. I put that as a link in my bio on TikTok. And then I took it further from the code of conduct and I said, you know what, we need our own constitution. We need to bring back rites of passages for men and women. We need to connect the elders and the youth. So I designed it. I designed a constitution that honors the elders, that honors the youth, that honors the men or the patriarchal system and the mothers, which is the matriarchal system. And I put them all on the same playing field. One thing I love about foundational Black Americans is we've never oppressed our women. We've never had that. We've always honored our matriarch and our patriarch in our community. Our women work side by side with us in the field of slavery and on into the workforce. My grandmother, she worked cleaning houses. You know what I'm saying? So my grandmother, regardless of what anybody may say, you could say she was a housewife, but she wasn't. She had a job. My grandfather, he went out and he worked. He had a job. We brought two incomes into the family to support to support a foundational Black American home. So I wanted to honor that with the coin. That's why even on the FBA coin, we have both men and we have male and female on the face of the coin, and that's never been done before. Usually you have two sides. We put them on the same side, let them know that we're side by side, back to back with our women.
One band, one sound, right?
That's it. That's it.
Uh,
That's it.
okay. So for the Constitution or the Code of Conduct, can you give me one example of what would it be called? Too much.
It's just I just put it as the FBA Constitution. Again, one thing I wanted to bring back is rites of passage. So many times we talk about, you're a man because you turn 18, you're a woman because you turn 18, or you're of legal age. But we got to go a little bit further than that because age doesn't doesn't say who's a mature man and who's a mature woman. Just to be a man today, you know, a man is forged through failure. You know, from ages of 18 to about 29 or 30, I would say the main job of a young man is to go out there and fail. Your job is to fail, and when you fail, you are going to learn. Get all your fail get all your failing out the way, be risky, take all your chances, figure out what your superpower is. Once you figure out what your superpower is, figure out how to monetize that and make money off that so you can take care of your family. So for 18 to 30 years old, that's really the making of a man stage, you know. So just to say you're a man at 18, I think we actually need some spiritual things and some practical things and some I guess you would call it education on what it is to be a foundational Black American. What are your commitments, and what is your vision? You know, and we need to shape these things in the rites of passage, and that's how we'll create a better man and a better woman and a better people of who are strong and standing on business for the lineage.
You know, this question reminds me of the other day I looked in the chat and a young man asked, how do I get the younger generation more involved with FBA or in alignment with FBA's core beliefs, right? So I told him to follow Ant CEO. That was my suggestion. Have you heard of Ant CEO? And I'm not affiliated with this young man. It's just that he answered Kai Cenat, and I've been noticing his videos. And he really broke it down really, really good. Remember, Kai Cenat said we didn't have any culture,
Yeah,
and
that's
his
crazy.
topics are really good. And I think that if foundational Black American children, especially in diverse places, it's kind of easy to get meshed into this whole, oh, well, we're a melting pot, you know? So we want to instill ethnic pride in them. And I think Ant CEO does a great job at that because Kaiser not said we didn't have no culture. And Ant CEO answered it back beautifully. Um, how would you answer that, young man, and how we get the younger generation more involved in alignment with foundational Black American core beliefs and instilling ethnic pride?
I like the Sulan movement. I love it. You know, it instills pride in our young foundational Black American youth. I think the Hidden Color series is awesome. You know, we need more of that. And I just think us just participating and practicing our culture, man. I think all those things when the youth, you know, because like I said, I grew up in, I'm from the 80s. You know, I was born in 1980. So I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s, man. And just being around family, just being around the culture, just being on the scene of everything coming out. I think that's what it is. I mean, one of the things my father was big on was instilling pride in my last name. You know, I think we have to go back to that. We have to teach our children to have pride in who they are and where they come from. My dad used to always say, you know, you're not allowed to get less than a B or less than an A. You know, you're a maxi, you're this, you're that. You know, he would set those standards, and I think challenging our youth, setting standards, participate. Doing more. We got to participate more in our culture, and we have to gatekeep our culture. So all those things, like I said, I love the name Sulan, because that speaks Black American pride, and I think that resonates with the youth. So things like that, anything we can do to participate in our culture is going to instill pride, and it's going to let people know that we do have a culture. We're not some lost Africans out there. We actually do have a culture, and it's global, it's worldwide. Traveling, when you travel and you see people looking like you, dressing like you, talking like you, when you travel outside the country and you see people imitating you, that's a form of flattery, man. That's a form of a sense of pride. Like, yeah, man, we are the biggest, not just in America, but on the globe.
And so I remember when you first put out the idea of the Constitution to us, and you did allow foundational Black Americans who followed you to download it.
Correct.
One thing that I put on mine, right, because I was trying to build a micronation,
Okay.
cotillions. Yep. I wanted to bring back cotillions. Where the younger generation, they get dressed like sneaker balls are cute, but I love vintage. So I wanted the women, the young ladies in pretty dresses and the men in the 3-piece suits and stuff like that. So that was just mine, like form of an idea. But I'm gonna ask Afro Lee, Afro, how would you recommend getting the younger generation online with ethnic or more instilled with ethnic pride and online to combat the types like Kai Cenat?
Well, that's a good question. Um, I would say, first off, to continue what we're doing now, I think what we're doing now is a really good job as well too. I think that there is benefit in highlighting our culture ethnically as well too, and we got to make things modern. We got to make things more modernized, okay? Because when it comes to our culture and pro-blackness and stuff, we keep talking about it as if our culture only exists in the South. And I'm starting to see a shift in that, where we're talking about our culture. And I'm not trying to, of course, I'm not trying to belittle the South, but we should talk about our culture not just from the South or not just from slavery or the survival of slavery, but we also need to talk about the richness of our culture. Like, for instance, the, so much of our culture is tied to everything American, so much so that we are American. Okay, when we talk about our culture, we often talk about Southern food, gumbo, all of that stuff, which is great and that shouldn't be ignored. But when we talk about our culture, we can talk about how the fact that we even have a Super Bowl halftime show is because of Black America,
Come on.
because a lot of people didn't know that. All right, a
Come
lot of
on.
people didn't know that it was if I'm not mistaken, it was the Wayne's family that decided to do something. And I think it was Soul Train, if I'm not mistaken, that decided to do something during the Super Bowl halftime show, which caused the Super Bowl to do its own halftime show. Now I know I'm fast forwarding past the history, but those are unique details. So anytime you see a Super Bowl halftime show, you really have to pay homage to Black American culture, just as far as entertainment and the advancement in diversity of entertainment in general. That stuff doesn't get talked about. So we need to talk about how any and everything is tied and infused and rooted from our culture. And it's not just struggle and hardship and, surviving, being beaten and oppressed. And that's one thing that our culture has been branded as, just indefinite survivals of oppression. You know what I'm saying? And nothing special, nothing rooting to something more. Which is why I'm glad shout out to Tariq, I'm glad he did the hip hop documentary Microphone Check to show how rich our culture is, which
Facts.
created hip hop. I
Come
think
on.
we also we also need more documentaries, not just on hip hop. I think we need a documentary on uh, funk music. I think we need a documentary on R&B. I think we need a documentary on country music. I think we need a doc. Now, I'm not saying Tariq is responsible for all of this, but I'm just saying I think that stuff is helpful as well too. You know, to explore the not just the surface level stuff that we were talking about our struggle, which is important and we shouldn't forget that, but also to talk about the root of how our culture is tied to everything else that we enjoy today.
Facts.
Thank you. I know, and what's so horrible being from, well, not horrible, but being from New York. I think I find my tribe, right? And somebody just jumps up. They don't like New York, and I'm like, what we do today? Um, I think they confuse a lot of times the cosplayers for foundational Black Americans in New York. A lot of us have ties to the South, but now we're teasing because there was an enslaved population. New York, New Jersey, and Philly. And I know there was enslaved throughout the North, but I mean by the Dutch specifically. And I'm looking at my own family tree from Jersey, and I'm like, could these people not have had a tie with the South? And so I did ask a historian who has been talking about these Afro Dutch, he calls them, the ones who were enslaved here. And Ma'am Danny says that the immigrants built New York. He said that is possible, but that's the one good thing that came out of Ma'am Danny trying to be, dismissive. Is that people are talking about the ancestors from the North again. And I'll move on from there. That could be a topic for another day. But we are teasing the fact that some people from the North may not even have ties to the South. There were communities here who were very influential. You get it? But that's not the case in my family, guys. But there's like one or two ancestors who I noticed was born in New Jersey, remained in New Jersey, and I gotta check their marriage records to see if they married a Southerner. Um, so when I first started entering your lives, you did host lives centered on relationships between men and women of the lineage. Can you briefly discuss your overall message of the importance of FBA relationships, intimate and platonic?
Yeah, man, we everything has to be respect. We have to understand that um, our women are not, our women have emotions and they need to be heard. We, as Foundation Black American Men, we need to allow our women to be heard, and we need to exercise patience. Communication is a slow process, and we must take our time with each other. We must build and earn trust and earn respect. And that's really my message. We have to honor the matriarch and the patriarch. We're not in a patriarchal society, and we're not in a matriarchal society. We need to honor the both. The Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father, and thy days shall be long. We have to honor the matriarch position and the patriarch position, because both of them are keys to wisdom and longevity in life. So that's my message, man. We have to, whether it's platonic, we must respect our women as sisters, and not see them as objects of that we should just sleep around with and discard. And we have to, my thing, I talk heavily on dating. Dating just leads to sex. That's all dating is. We should be courting, not dating. Courting is investing and taking the time to know the person to whom we are speaking with, and it leads to marriage. Courting leads to marriage. Dating leads to sex. When a man says he wants to date you, he's pretty much telling you, "Hey, man, I think you look fine, and I want to move something." That's pretty much what he's saying. Now, a man who's taking his time to know your family, to know more about you on a more serious level, he's not going to rush to lay down with you. He's going to rush to understand if you fit into what his vision and where he's going. And I think that's my message with men and women relationship. Our young sisters out there, they are not objects that we should be rushing in to sleep with and discard. We should be actually looking at them and protecting them. They are our sisters. They are somebody's sister, and we need to honor that position. If we want to take it to another level, I think courting is the best way. You want to know everything about a person's family before you marry them. Marriage is not just about love. It's about position. It's about status. It's a partnership. It's goal orientated. It has to. The person that you bring into your life has to fit into what you're trying to build. And you, as a man, you should have a vision. You should not be a cloud with no water. Men should always have a vision. If you don't have a vision, that's part of the problem. Women suffer through something called struggle love, is because the man's vision is not clear and their decision making is not mature or up to par. You don't have to suffer through struggle love if you are dating a true man, but you will suffer through struggle love if you are dating a boy. If you're starting out with a boy, young relationships usually can become struggle love, but struggle love is not based on how the age of a person. It's based on the maturity of the person and the intention of that person. So I'll say
So
it
I
like
have
that.
a question, and this is just off the cusp, right? Since we're talking about it, we're deep in the delineation movement. Some even tease that we need to delineate from the bedroom. Um, What would you say to that?
I'm all man. We should have delineated 5, 10 years ago. You know, I used to be a Pan Africanist. It wasn't until I went to the continent of Africa and I came back, and I went a couple times, that I realized, hey man, we are not the same people. Our culture is not the same. Our thought process is not the same. Our values are not the same. And we need to protect our culture at all costs, because our culture is the biggest. Nobody's rushing out to copy other people's culture. They're rushing to take advantage of our culture and copy what we do. So we have to understand that we're in that big brother position. We're not some lost African. We're actually the biggest. We're actually the most influential. Well, you know what I'm saying? So we have to protect that. We can't let anybody just come in and take over that and act like they're us when they're not. And those that cosplay and do that, they do a terrible job and they make us look bad globally. So we must protect that at all costs. So I am 100% for the delineation. 100%.
I said also from the bedroom, meaning a date only within our ethnic group.
Oh, okay. Got you. I would say this. The best I would say is better for and I don't police anybody. You love who you love, but I would say, especially right now, the best thing is for foundational Black Americans to be with foundational Black Americans. If you do date outside your ethnicity, I would say make sure that you still honor you still stand on business and you still honor your ethnicity. You don't dilute yours or become second tier to someone else's lineage. Your lineage is the most important, and our foundational Black American lineage is the most important culture, and you teach that to your children. If you have children that are bi ethnic, you make sure they respect and understand and know the history of foundational Black Americans and who they are. So I would say, even if you date outside your race, you don't lose your culture or your lineage, and you don't say things like, oh, I prefer African culture better or Caribbean culture better. That's that's crazy talk. So uh, if you're weak like that, then I don't know what to say. But I would say, stand on business. And the ideal situation is foundational Black American men to be with foundational Black American women. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Afro, are you there? He's on teacup. I would have like his response. He might have got it. What do you think about delineation? Also from the bedroom. Did you hear that question?
No, can you give me a couple minutes? I'm in a place with a lot of noise right now, so I can't.
No, no problem. No problem. Okay, so for me, so I don't make it a secret that my children are um their father is Caribbean, right? Jamaican to be exact. My children are also grown, right? So I have more than one child, one who's turning 30, one who's already 30, one who's 25. But I catch a lot of flack as if people feel that I shouldn't be speaking up for foundational Black Americans for the simple fact that I had a Caribbean partner. Do you think that's the truth too much?
No, man. Like I said, it's we don't police who you fall in love with or who you have kids with. I would just say again, our lineage supersedes all other people's culture and lineage. And as long as you don't get absorbed into their culture and their lineage, I think you're okay. As long as you're standing on foundational Black American business, because that's the that's the you know that's top tier. And I'm not trying to put down anybody else's lineage. I'm saying you should definitely stand on your lineage, but our lineage is global. Our lineage transcend every. No one's trying to be any. Nobody's trying to copy Africans or Caribbeans. Everybody's trying to copy us, and we need to make sure that that's top tier, and that it's treated that way. We should not be having that Pan African mindset where we act like we don't have any culture and we're not doing anything. We're doing phenomenal things, and we need to always understand and know that. So even in relationships, man, like I said, as long as you're not with a tether, I would say you're okay as long as you're not dating, because just because they're non FBA or they're African or Caribbean doesn't mean they're a tether. As long as you are dating someone who respects your lineage and your culture and where you come from, and understands not to diss or put down what you're talking about, I think you're okay. I think as long as your kids understand where they come from and their mother's culture and things like that, that it's okay that they also understand where their father's culture come from too. But you should never pit the two against each other, and they should know, hey man, it's because of foundational Black Americans that any other culture is able to come over here and mix in with us over here.
Thank you. I think for me, it was I was, let me keep it anecdotal. Think in the Pan African movement. I mean, as far as the whole, you know, everything comes from Africa type of deal, paying homage to the continent. Saying the RBG anthem, which is, or I don't know how you say, but it's red for my blood, black for my people, green for the land to which I will, return again. And so it was natural to say, okay, well, this ain't work out with this person. It's okay to date a Jamaican. It's okay to date a Haitian. It's okay to date a Nigerian, right? But I also think that these other ethnic groups are feeling themselves a little too much because I'm still foundational Black American. I was raised foundational Black American. My dad is foundational Black American. The woman who raised me is foundational Black American. Why would I now see what they are doing to my people and then say, oh, my people, don't be too hard on them? No, I'm going to go at you even harder because I know y'all can do better to be in alignment with us. And we do have Ancestor Dream in the chat. She says she stands on lineage business, but I believe she's engaged to a Nigerian. So it happens. You can't tell somebody who to fall in love with. But at the end of the day, like you said, foundational Black American, our culture, our ancestors, our land, our right, everything comes first for us. Like it shouldn't be a no-brainer. And your
Correct.
partner should be on board. Like, yeah, my people are wrong, because we call out our people. We hold them
Correct.
accountable, and I'll leave that. I'll leave that there. You can't hold your spouse's people accountable for the things that they do to your lineage, then I question your ethnic pride. So I don't know. Um, People seem to believe that it is hard for foundational Black American women to submit to their men. Can you tell us what submission means to you, and if you two agree that Black American women have a hard time submitting to their spouse?
So I think that's already been debunked. I mean, the gender war actually started with Caribbeans and Africans. We never had a gender war with our women. And me personally, and I've dated I dated all types of women. I've dated foundational Black. I've never had a problem with a woman submitting to me. I've never had a problem. And I think they may not like that word. I think that word is kind of thrown around as a more of a patriarchal and subduing the women. But I'll say this: if you are a man of vision and you carry yourself as such, and you carry yourself with a certain respect, I think women will follow suit with that. If you are a man that keeps his word, I think you won't have a problem with women following you. Submit it's not a terrible word. It just means, hey man, I I'm going to I'm going to adhere to what you're saying because I believe in you. I believe in your vision. I believe you're a good man. I believe you're a good person. I believe you're not going to lie to me. You're not going to deceive to me. You're not going to trick me. I believe you want the best for me. That's what submission really is. It's that woman saying, I believe you want the best for me. So I know you're not just going to tell me any old thing. Now, if you're a woman that is difficult, I would say, I hate to use that word, but if you're a woman that's difficult, I think that man should, you should know. That's why courting is very important. If you're dating, dating, like I said, dating doesn't lead to marriage or doesn't lead to strong relationship. It just leads to sex. But if you're taking the time to know the person, I think the man who takes the time to know the woman and really courts her, he's gonna find a more submissive woman than if he's just uh, dating her and then trying to marry her at the end of the day. Because you're just getting someone's representative at that point. But when you court somebody, you really know them and they really know you. You know their family, she knows your family, and you're able to build stronger bonds. So me personally, me just saying for me personally, I've never had any problem with any woman I ever talked to or been with to submit to me.
So, as a woman, I believe that the word submit does cause a little ruffle within some of us. And so, what I find is that when other women will say, it's not that we won't submit. It's based off of somewhat what you said, but or won't let you lead. But where are you leading me to? Are you leading me? There's been women that's taken jail sentences for their men. There's women that do all type of things for their men, and so it's like it becomes, where are you leading me to? I like the word compromise, and I'm gonna say why. Growing up with my parents, I always thought my mother was running the household until I was a teen, right? And I asked to go to a teen club in New York City, right? And so I asked my mom. She was like, I got to talk to your dad. And my dad, to me and my sister, was the nicest one out of the parents, right? We go to him first for everything. And, we were daddy girls. So, my father said no, and I couldn't believe it. And I thought my mother would override him, right? I was like, okay, well, mommy probably be like, come on now, she should be able to go. Do you know she went with his word? And I realized who had to say in my house. Because she told my friend's mother, I'm sorry, but her father is adamant. She can't go. And I was so hurt. So all the time I'm thinking my mother ran the household, but daddy had to find a word. But they didn't have any. He came home. He was a good provider. Well, they still live together somewhat. That's another topic of the conversation. But came home and she had new furniture. She had a car. He took care of the household. Um, and so, since she did everything like grocery shopping, paid the bills, stuff like that, I thought that she was really running the household. But when it came down to the final say, daddy had the final word. And so, but I like the word compromise. I think that to have a successful relationship, you do have to compromise. Would I be willing to let a man lead? Nowadays, yeah, it took a lot of growth to get where I'm at in this space and time. But before, I was one of those women too much. I would have gave you a headache if you told me submit. But you learn and you grow. And my father was very instrumental. I gotta say this, and helping me learn that I chose wrong and that I can't hold any bitterness towards other men because all men aren't the same. So that's good. Shout out to my dad.
Yeah, shout out to your dad. And I think, listen, you know, a lot, it takes a lot for a man to become a man. A lot of times, and I just want to be just honest about this. A lot of times, our women are dating men who or boys. And you could be a boy in your 20s, you could be a boy in your 30s, you can even be a boy in your 40s. It takes a lot to become a man. One of the things as a man you have to learn how to do is you have to learn how to execute. You have to learn how to follow through with something and actually complete it and become successful in that. If you haven't learned how to execute yet, you know, you're probably not a man. And other men must confirm you to be a man. You can't just be a man because you say you are, because you turned 18, because you handsome and you look good and all the girls like you. That does not make you a man. Other men must confirm that you have reached manhood, and then that is more of a suitable partner than just someone who's trying to be or imitating something that he's not become yet. You must learn how to execute. You must have integrity. You must learn how to build trust with your women, and the best way to build trust is to keep promises. If you say something, stand on it. Don't be wishy washy. A
Correct.
woman a woman will walk over you if you're wishy washy, but if you're a man that stand on business, she's gonna pay attention to that. She's gonna be like, okay, he's serious.
Yep. And my ancestors' dream says, I believe women love to be led, but the man must know how to lead. I love my FBA men. I do too. And I got to tell you, this resurgence, what Brother Divine of the U.S. Freedmen's Project has deemed to be the Black American Renaissance, I'm seeing more camaraderie, more teamwork, more on code between black men and black women, and we understand who is primarily keeping up the gender divide. And you brought that up earlier. But switching from the relationship topics, right?
Okay.
Too much. You also speak a lot about self-paying reparations, which, after doing a masterclass on Booker T. Washington, who focused on self-reliance, I find your points may align with our great master teacher, our scholar and founder of Tuskegee Institute. Would you agree? Why or why not?
Self reparations, yeah, man. I agree that we need reparations, but I also agree that we should not be waiting for reparations. We should be building an infrastructure that and thriving while we get what we're standing on business to get. We have to chew gum and walk at the same time. We have to stand on reparations business, but we also got to be practicing group economics within our lineage in order if we're going to have thriving. We should be building businesses. We should be building an ecosystem that's separate from the global economy and the white supremacy economy. We have to come out of the system that is harming us, and we must build a system that we can thrive in. How people say, well, how do we defeat white supremacy and systematic racism and all this other stuff? Well, easy. You create another system. You create
I,
another system. How do you defeat an elite? You build another elite to fight an elite. You cannot overcome something without creating something different than what you're facing. So if we have a rigged system over here, then we have to create a system of true meritocracy. We have to create a system that they can't bomb, that they can't eminent domain, that they can't cancel us. We have to create a system that we can't be canceled, and the only way we can do that is we have to create group economics with each other. And that's why the blockchain is so attractive, and that's why FBA coin came about, is because we want to create a system where our people can thrive, where nobody can cut off our flow, where we can practice group economics and practice sovereignty and teach sovereignty to our children.
so my ancestors' dream says we should also be educating our own. The education
Hmm.
system is just an indoctrination into white T systems. Would you agree too much?
I agree, man. We have to educate our own. We have to. We should not listen. I'm not a proponent of school. I'm probably going to say something radical right now, but if you have your children in school, I think you're traumatizing them. I saw a video with a young boy. I guess his family moved to a nicer neighborhood, better tax money going to education, and he was the only black child in his school. And I watched the teacher humiliate this kid by singing him happy birthday and calling him a monkey in such a nice and sweet and cringy and weird and just hair stand up a back in your neck type of voice. You when you watch a 9-year old or even a child, children are not usually embarrassed easily, but when you can embarrass a child, that's traumatizing to look at. That's traumatizing to see that little boy become embarrassed because his teacher called him a monkey, singing him happy birthday. We should not be traumatizing our children by putting them into an education system that's going to indoctrinate them and not teach them. That's going to enslave them and not make them freedmen or sovereign. So we must homeschool our kids, and we don't have to. It doesn't have to be the traditional way. We can use the internet to homeschool our kids now. We can get a group of our kids 20, 30, 40, 50 of them online with one, maybe one teacher and a teacher's aide, and they can start online classes and start teaching them from their very home. I mean, we have to be creative in how we want to do that. But I think we're doing a very disservice to our children by sending them to public school and by sending them to college. We must create our own institutions. We must educate our own children.
I want to say thank you to everybody who's entering the chat, commenting, liking, gifting. Um, my page is private, so you really can't share, right? So I agree with you. When I hear that, well, they're changing and they're taking out Black history from the schools. They weren't teaching accurate Black history in my eyes anyway. And I got to tell you, oh, and Just Slim, who is a teacher, she is in the educational field. She says she totally agrees with you too much. Um, they weren't teaching accurate Black American history, right? I went to Catholic school. They really wasn't teaching any Black American history there. Some things uh, people may not know. You know, we may live different places regionally throughout the nation. Other times, some elders wouldn't talk about the past. So it wasn't until 2010 I found out what alligator bait was. And I found that out from an elder in a Facebook group. Those Black history groups, the way people be like, BX, you're so knowledgeable. A lot of that came from them Facebook groups. I was really in there with elders throughout the nation, but primarily the South. And they were telling me history that I didn't know. And alligator bait was one. So when they say that taking Black American history out of the schools, I'm not against them doing that because they ain't teaching us nothing in there anyway. We teach our history better, and we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. The white T systems aren't doing that. So I just want to say that I'm on in full board with you, brother Too Much, when you say that we should be educating our own.
Yes, indeed.
So recently, you attended an event at the Hidden History Museum in Cali by Tariq Rashid, right? Can you tell us about the experience and the honest reaction of Tariq Rashid? But I think you touched on this a little bit when you explained to him the FBA point and its purpose. Well, I did see the videos of the event, and people look really happy. Just look real good that I'm even willing to go to Cali for an event, right? And I'm from New York, and I'm finding shout out to my Cali natives because we're putting the industry politics behind us. We weren't involved in those industry politics, so there's no reason why people should still be harping on the East Coast, West Coast beat. So meeting you guys on the internet, I got to tell you, sometimes they have my back first before anybody else. Because look at Brother Malik. We be on Twitter just swinging at everybody, if you haven't noticed us over there, on certain topics that pertain to FBA. So, but anyway, tell us about the Hidden History Museum and what was the energy like and how did you like it when you went there?
Man, well, first of all, it was raining. Okay, so when you got Black people standing outside in the rain, long line, you know, that's we showing up for something real because we're not gonna stand out in the rain. We're not gonna get wet. But there was a long line outside. I stood in line. I met some brothers from Mississippi. We chopped it up. They came all the way down from Mississippi to come down to the Hidden History Museum, man. I just drove about an hour to come to the Hidden History Museum. They flew in. They had a hotel. So it was a lot of our people. The energy and the vibe felt good. The two ladies that greeted us at the front desk, they were pleasant. It was easy to find seating. Food was already laid out so we can get the plates are, so you pay your $29, but it also comes with some soul food. It comes with, and I believe that Tariq's mom was there serving the food. So whether people knew it or not, Tariq's mom was putting their plate, setting their plates up. I sat in the spot because I've been there. This is my second time being there. I sat in the same spot, met the same cameraman that I met the first time, and the energy and the vibe is just amazing, man. It's amazing to see just all the positivity and all the people of the lineage. You feel safe because everybody's from the same lineage. Nobody's on no don't step on my shoe type of stuff. everybody's humble, everybody's grateful, everybody's excited. The comedians, I think Daphne was, she stands out to me because she was probably the funniest person on stage, and there was many great comedians, many good ones, but Daphne, she stood out the most for me, and just to know that, because I didn't know, just to know that she's foundational Black American, that felt good. Just to know that comedians were foundational Black American, that felt good. Just to know everybody in the house was culturally us, felt good. And Tariq, man, he always, Tariq has that how can I describe it? Tariq is not the same person, and I'm not saying he's different, but you hear Tariq on his show, but in person he's humble, he's greeting everybody, he's working the room, he's shaking everybody's hand, he takes the time to talk to you, to look at you in the eye, to relate to you. Me sitting down, me talking to him about the FBA coin. I just felt a good spirit. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm creating my own FBA coin." I thought about creating my own FBA coin. I said, "Hey man, you need to come on board with us. We're already creating something phenomenal." And he was really attentive and listening to me. And he just told me, "Hey man, send me an email." I got to talk to him. I also got to talk to Dewan B. This is probably my second time meeting Dewan B. Dewan B is like the host of the comedy show, and he does that for Tariq. I think him and Tariq put on this comedy show. And I met Dewan B. I was able to give Dewan B some merch, a 3X shirt, even though he's a 4X. I was able to give Tariq Nasheed one of my signature FBA hats that I always wear. I gave, and my boy actually made Tariq a jumpsuit, so I gave him a jumpsuit. And Tariq, like I said, man, very, very, in person, humble, strong. He has that old, I sense that old spirit, that activism spirit in him, but very pleasant, man. Like I said, the Tariq you hear on his show, I think in person, he's just much more humbler, man. He shakes hand, he works the room, and everything about him, his whole presence, I go out vibes and energy. His energy was great, man. He has a great energy, and you could just see the love that Tariq gets just from walking in the room.
Thank you so much. I see everybody coming in the room. I'd like to thank you for joining, for liking, for gifting, and for providing insight in the comment section. So, the Black Americans House, I do see your comments. You were talking about a time when the white hat, that's the white hat, oh my God, the small hat, um, it was a setup by the small hats to separate us. Can you comment in the chat exactly what period you're talking about? So, Afro I believe I was asking you about delineating within dating, meaning date only the ethnic group.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, the thing is, as somebody who I'm not a leader, I will say I do have a face in the movement. Um, so I can't tell anybody what to do, and that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to tell anybody what to do, nor are we here to um, nor are we here to try to generalize everybody. But we do have to understand and lock in on our priorities. Now, as the brother was saying, I think that there is a difference between dating and actually like seriously trying to be involved with somebody, seriously try to be in a committed relationship with somebody, or whatever the case is.
Thank you for that. So the Black American House was talking about a time when it was the East Coast West Coast beef. Says the small hats started that, and this is like the second time I heard that. All the while I'm looking at it as because we do know Tupac was born here, in New York, and then he moved to Maryland, and then Cali, and Cali was like he. They showed me an interview where he said, "I'm a claim. I think it was the Bay, the city I'm claiming is the Bay or something." I was like, "Ah, breaking my heart." But I looked at it as two friends who just had a disagreement, and then if we went to New York politics, it was one Bronx having a beef with a Brooklyn cat. You know what I'm saying? So
You
that's what
know,
I did. But then now I found out the intricate workings of it, right? Um, And some will argue Tupac is from Harlem, but I ain't getting into that argument
You
with
know, I
nothing.
have a comment. I have a comment on that.
Yeah.
Uh, Tupac should have stayed in the Bay. If Tupac would have stayed in the Bay and not went down to LA and not messed with Death Row, I believe Tupac would still be alive because the Bay actually loved Tupac. The Bay actually embraced Tupac and taught him. There's a different energy from Northern California than there is from Southern California. And I try to explain that to people being in California. The Bay is like it's kind of like Atlanta in a sense. Like if you're from the Bay, they're going to promote you more than anybody else. I mean, I can mention people like Mac Mall. Mac Mall was also friends with Tupac, man, and a lot of people don't know who he is, but that brother was very, very talented brother. All those brothers in the Bay, they kind of stick together. They're more about making money. They're not really hating on you out there. They're there to build you up, and you becoming successful makes the Bay Area successful. The more you get down into LA is different. The LA mentality is different. It's more like if you didn't grow up with us, you're not one of us. You're going to be an outsider until we accept you. You know what I'm saying? So when LA accepting Tupac was different. I believe Tupac when he got into the Bay, when he got into the Southern California, that's when that gangster rap came out of him. But when he was in the Bay, man, we had a Brenda had a baby Tupac. You know what I'm saying? When he got to LA, it was Thug Life Tupac. And that was the difference. I think if Tupac would have stayed in the Bay, he would still be around today, and he might have been one of our biggest activists and probably major delineationists. You know what I'm saying? At that time, Tupac was very revolutionary, and I wish he would have stayed in the Bay. And I do believe that the East Coast and West Coast beef was manufactured because the industry wanted to make money.
I believe so too. Now that I know more, right? So the Black American House says it was in the name, Death Row. I want to see people dancing in the videos. Remember when she got on stage and was like, if
Hmm.
you don't want to produce it all up in the videos, yeah. And then the Black Americans House says, okay, now you cleaning up my city name of Atlanta. Folks love trash in our city. Same as in New York. They love trash in New York too. But too much. Since we're on the topic of music, you had a plan implemented for an FBA Music Award show. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, man, I saw the Essence Fest debacle. I saw BET pulling out, and I seen how everything was becoming a tether loser. Everything was becoming tethers. The award show was actually a slight at foundational Black Americans. Everybody would get up and say, "Boom, I'm not Black American. I'm Caribbean." You know what I'm saying? I'm not this. I'm African. I'm not this. I'm Barbados. Everything is like everybody that was winning these rewards were non FBA, and really they can't even hold a candle to us. They're not even as talented as us. It was industry plant after industry plant after industry plant, and we were getting further and further and further and further and further away from our culture. And they were just watering down our culture with this cosplay, with this Jollof rice thing. And when I saw that, I said, that's when we need an FBA Music Award. Now, we're supposed to do it in October. We still are going to do it. I'm just focused on I was just been focusing more on the FBA coin, making sure that comes out and we have a smooth launch with that. But I wanted to do something unique. I wanted to do something to where we really honor our musicians of our that are FBA and our entertainers. And I wanted to go every single genre from country all the way to hip hop, even reggaeton and reggae, all foundational Black America because we started all that. So I wanted to honor our people, and I thought we should do it in a unique way, something that's never been done before. Instead of giving them awards, let's give them NFTs. Let's put them on the blockchain forever. Let's make it so memorable and so amazing, and we do it from our home. We do it on a TikTok platform or a YouTube platform. And we bring our musicians up in the comfort of their own home. They're able to speak, accept their NFT or accept their award, and maybe even perform from their own studio or their their own living room, something like that. And we have a music historian educate people on Black American music while we're handing out these awards and honoring our people. So I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something unique, and I wanted to do it online so nobody has to leave the comfort of their own home. And I just wanted to do something that was going to honor foundational Black Americans in a way that's so memorable and unforgettable.
Well, I'm offering my services as a correspondent. Or anyway,
I
you
would
know
love it.
what my talents are, so you could just
Yes,
put
ma'am. I
me.
would love it. Man, that type of journal. You need to be doing interviews. We need to have a form of red carpet interviews that's maybe done on TikTok, where you take time and you interview all the nominees and all the people there. So I think that would be amazing. I think that would be amazing.
Cool. So we're not going to give out too much strategy. We could talk about that in the Telegram.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the Black Americans House says, meanwhile, from the coast of North Carolina to Georgia, our ancestors always used rice. Africans act like jollof rice is the only rice that's out there. I guess because they made the jambalaya verse, jollof rice, whatever that was about. But moving on to the next question, and this will probably start wrapping up the end of my question, so we can get to your vibe check.
Okay.
Now, huh?
I said, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, you like the vibe check,
I
but
love the vibe chat.
so a lot of the immigrant class, I don't want to all call them all tethers, and even some American Indians, they don't stop reminding us that Tariq Nasheed has trademarked FBA. We know that you have a clothing line or you have clothing items that are, have FBA on it, FBA emblems, logos, things like that. Can you tell us, is that a direct conflict to Tariq Nasheed, or because I don't think they understand the principle of why he did it? Have you had any problems selling your merch?
No, I have not had any problem selling my merch. My merch. I haven't really been how do you say promoting it or letting everybody know I'm doing it. I really just like to make clothing for myself, and if people like the clothing I have, they can go to my website and purchase it. And I am going to start promoting it more. But Tariq did not do it so he can say you can't sell anything with FBA on it or Foundation of Black American. I think he did it more to protect our lineage more than to gatekeep who can sell what type of merchandise for our community. Tethers often, they'll say anything. They'll say the museum is a lounge, and that's a lie. It's a museum. They'll say you know they'll say disheartening things about Tariq's family. You know what I'm saying? They'll make up stories. They'll make up anything to say, oh, Tariq's FBI or CIA, and they'll do those are all lies. And we just got to understand that Tariq did the right thing. He trademarked Foundation of Black Americans, so nobody should be making money off that name outside of our lineage, or or making disparaging things against that name without some type of legal ramifications coming behind that. So I think he did it more to protect the name, to protect the lineage, and who better to do it than the person that coined that phrase. Shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson for calling us Native Black Americans, and then Tariq codifying it more, making it more a codified language and difficult for people to latch onto, bringing in the foundational Black American. So I give Tariq props for that, man. I give him props for that.
And I'd like to remind everybody also that I believe Puerto Rico is trademarked, African American is
Hmm.
trademarked. All these ethnonyms are trademarked. So as we watch and combat the ethnocide of FBA lineage, how has California changed? With Hollywood and Cali, how can you use your skills to fight the erasure happening there?
I'll say the question one more time. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I see the question kind of wasn't complete, but you know that we're facing an ethnocide, which is an erasure,
Sure.
the deliberate erasure of our ethnic groups' culture, right? Now,
Sure.
Hollywood is in Cali, but Hollywood seems to be uh, big part of erasing us with them casting non-FBA roles in roles such as Harriet Tubman, I think
Hmm.
MLK, now Sarah Rector. How would you combat? How do you say Cali has changed as far as ethnocide goes, the effects of it on Cali residents?
Okay,
Also,
you
what would you do to, how can you combat it?
okay? Well, you had a brother on here named Diamond Z, right? That's my brother. I want to see that brother win, and all film directors like him. I want to see him win. Um, we have to. We cannot be a part of any of their union. We need to reject Hollywood 1,000%, and we need to create our own version of Hollywood. Not identical, not exactly like, but something totally different to where we honor our culture and our lineage. We have to start casting we have to become the directors and the producers and start casting our people in these roles with the energy and the spirit that comes from us, and not allowing non FBA people tell us what's black and what's not. So we need to reject Hollywood. We don't need to be watching any of their movies. All of it's propaganda and witchcraft and CIA and Operation. All they got handlers over there. We don't want it. We don't want nothing to do with Hollywood or anything Hollywood. We should reject Hollywood and all its movies, and we should begin to start our own. We need to make our own movie. We don't need to join SAG. We probably need to create our own Black Union Actors Guild or something along those lines. Foundational Black American Actors Guild. Whatever. We have to come up out of that and create our own and start creating music and movies for our people and our people specifically, and not worry about if the world buys it. We need to make sure that we are consuming it, and we're not consuming what they give us.
Exactly. I say when we hear that a role has been cast and given to a foreign person, right?
Mhm.
We go radio silent. We don't even, well, we can voice displeasure because we're going to voice displeasure. But
We
the
don't
amount
watch
of
it.
Yeah, don't watch it. Go completely silent. The more money they spend, the more they flop. But it's us who will feel interest in it, curiosity. Why are Black Americans upset? Let me go over here and see what's going on. We go radio silent. Like you said, we back people like Diamond Shadow, and we support our own actors and filmmakers, screenwriters. Let's not forget the writers now. You know, I'm a writer.
Yep. The right, exact. We need more of our people writing. We don't need 10 YT people in small hats in one room writing a black show. We
Exactly.
need all of our people in there writing a what is a black show and what is black American culturally. We should not have some non FBAs trying to tell us, hey man, I remember those movies in the 70s. Hey man, you're not black enough. Remember Hollywood Shuffle?
Yeah.
That's a real thing, man. We should not be having people tell us we're not black enough. We need you to be more black. We need you to be no. You shut up. You sit on the sideline. You know nothing about our culture, and you need to hire us to talk to us. Don't hire them. And,
Exactly.
and if they're not doing that, we just need to reject them completely. And again, we need to create our own music and entertainment and our own theatrical and actor agencies that compete with theirs and crush theirs. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And the Black Americans House says we need to make something different from what YT folks made. We need something that is holistic. We don't
Mhm.
need no more Diddyites. Okay. I'm with you on that, the Black
And I just
American.
want to throw this in. That's also why the FBA coin is around, because we want to be able to fund our own media. We want to be able to control our own narrative. So we actually going to have a money set aside in a or token set aside in a treasury to where we can lend money to our up and coming music and movie producers, so we can start controlling, and podcasters, so we can start controlling our narrative and create movies that are for us and by us.
So I gotta say this. I gotta give a shout out to Black Royal Beauty. She started hosting business classes just telling us how to set up nonprofit organizations, start our own business if we don't know already. And what we found, and Brother Marshall, Foundational American, he
Shout out to
hosts
that
lives,
brother.
yes, and he has made the 8515 program. But during one of his lives, a lot of people started saying, well, I'll pay for this class and I'll pay for that. And I got to give a shout out to Brother Eagles Fan 71. He's always in the chat. He's always encouraging us. He's a brother from Georgia, and he has paid for my media classes, right? So
Mm.
I'm a journalist. I have my degrees, and I also have, so I'm a double master's, one bachelor's, a minor in sociology. Two degrees are in journalism, one is in entertainment business. However, I don't have on-field location shooting. There is a program in New York who offers those classes, and Eagles Fan 71 paid for my courses, y'all.
Shout out to
Um,
that brother, man. Shout out to that brother.
so if you visit, y'all, because I believe what you believe in self-reliance and self-paying reparations, I do believe that we have to fund the people that we believe in, even if somebody needs food or something. And Sister Wolfie does that. She has the lineage fund. You can contact her for more information if you are of the lineage and need, I think, gas money and maybe some groceries to get you over until your next payday. Sister Wolfie is in charge of that. That's her baby. I'm not associated, but I can spread the word. So we need people like that to fund our goals if they're in alignment with the lineage. And so there'll be times where somebody might want to start a nonprofit. Maybe we may give a donation if they need the fee paid for the application, stuff like that. So I want to shout out. There were some people who sent me some items from my wish list, right? So I got a microphone so far for my podcast, and things like that. So I just want to tell you, we do have to fund our own. If you believe in somebody and you can make a donation, and you believe they're credible, go ahead and $25 goes a long way when you need a piece of equipment. I'll leave it there. So I do want to kind of go on a note about when the Latinos were protesting against mass deportation. How was the energy between the Latino community and the FBA community, considering at one time they were firebooming Black American homes, right, in Cali? So we do know there's tension there between the groups. Sometimes we're faced with violence from them, but now they were asking for unity. What was that like? Because Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, opted for the couch.
Yeah, and we're gonna stay on the couch. See, here's the problem. Here's the issue. You know, they wanna be black and brown when it's convenient for them, but they don't want to address the anti-black hatred that comes out of their community. Their women will sleep with our men. Our women will sleep with some of their men, right? But when we go into their community, it's a hostile environment. When they come into our community, they're safe. No one's harming them. See, they might get some funny looks every now and then, but nobody's going to racially charge them or racially abuse them when they're coming into our spaces. But when we come into their spaces, it can get hostile. I had a best friend, well, not a best friend, but I had a brother that I knew growing up when I was a kid. He was dating this YT woman, but he hung out. He was a brother, but his friends were all Hispanic. He went to this all Hispanic party, and he did not come back from that. And his friends did nothing to help him. They allowed him to get beat up, brutalized, and unalived at this party. That could never happen in a Black American space. You could not, Hispanics could not show up in a Black American space and we abuse them like that and unalive them just because they're Hispanic. You see what I'm saying? That's the issue that needs to be addressed if anybody wants to deal with foundational Black Americans, you got to address the anti-Black hatred in your communities, not just in the Hispanic community. We can go also in the African community and the Caribbean community. You have to address that. If you don't address that, then guess what? You get no support. You get no love. We don't owe you anything. We are reserving grace and mercy only for our people and our people alone. We no longer have to extend that grace and mercy to you because you have trampled on it every single time. Here in California, there's a big problem. Hispanics have all these jobs. Everywhere you look around, you see Hispanics working, Hispanics working, Hispanics working, and you think, oh, black people are lazy. No, it's because they are not hiring us out here. They're hiring them. Whenever they get into a managerial or a powerful position where they can hire people, they only hire their own. They practice hiring their own, and if you see a place where there's a predominantly black people working and you'll see a Hispanic rise to power, immediately you're going to see black people exiting that job, and overnight it just turned into an all Mexican warehouse or an all Mexican a job site. That's what they practice. They practice anti-black hatred in politics here in California. So it's never gonna be kumbaya with them. We're always gonna have our guard up when we come around them because we know they practice something called la raza, lighten the race. That's something that's taught early. They have a black abuela somewhere in their past, and even their black abuela is going to tell them, marry somebody lighter, marry somebody lighter, keep the race pure. They are no longer, if they want to call themselves indigenous, they're not indigenous. They're mestizos. They're a hybrid race. They've been breeded out, and we're calling them out on that, and they don't like that. So we're just going to continue standing on business and telling the truth. And it's not kumbaya out here like people may think. We are cool with some Mexicans, but we understand that anti-black hatred is strong, and it's all it stems from the prison all the way to the streets. So it's never going to change because everybody knows when you go into the prison systems here, if you are black, you ride with the black, and if you are Hispanic, you ride with the Hispanic. And guess what the Hispanics do? They ride with the white supremacists on the inside there too. So it's all a system of white supremacy set up against us, and we know that.
Thank you for the insight too much. So when you said that they practice black hate, sentiments within the government, are you talking about Nuri Martinez when she said "F that guy, he's with the blacks," or Karen Bass
Absolutely.
even, who has opted to give the illegals a sort of funding when Cali activists are really stomping the yard for delineation bills for New Freedmen's Bureau, things like that, and reparations. We see what happened in Cali with the reparations hearings and stuff. Is that sort of what you're talking about too much?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, listen, man. You know, look at the mayor of Los Angeles. Look at the mayor of Los Angeles. How she did nothing for Altadena victims. Okay, that's a predominantly black town that was destroyed during the fires. Look how slow she was to move. Look how when she was asked about foundational Black Americans, and she's not even that mayor is not even a black woman. I think she's like cute, more Hispanic roots. I think she's married even to a Hispanic. So it's all kind of weird, funny stuff going on in Los Angeles politics, man, and in politics, period. Everybody is anti-black. Everybody practices benign neglect when it comes to us. Everybody, and we on business and keep calling it out and keep exposing it. Listen, we need to fund people from the grassroots who are foundational Black American, and we need to run them. We need to protect them. We need to fund, we need to fund them. We need to make sure that they're standing on lineage business and go up into the lion's den and wreak havoc. Okay, that's what we need. We don't need to be messing with anybody outside of our lineage. We need to have our own party. I like the Redemption Party personally. We need to have our own party. Replace. We need to completely dismantle and destroy the Democratic Party because they're weak right now, and replace it with our party, and that will make it a real two-party system. Because this fake system that we got, where Democrats pretend to be Republicans and Republicans pretend to be Democrats, they all just switch talking points and make you think that they changed their ways, but they're all the same. They're all the same wing. They're two wings on the same bird. So what we do is we replace it with our party, and that will make it a real two-party system, and then we can really get some things done.
And I also commented the Redemption Party's link in the chat. Any link that I drop, please press down on it, copy it to your clipboard, and then paste it into your web browser to take you to the page so that you can view what we're talking about and participate in all calls to actions for foundational Black Americans. There's one for Massachusetts, one for New York, two for New York, because it's the U.S. Freedoms Project, and they're stomping the yard hard for a delineation bill and to repeal our race-based bill for reparations when it should be lineage-based. Now, moving on, I wouldn't be credible if I didn't ask this question. How was it watching rap hip hop progression from the state it was in to seeing another Cali native such as Kendrick Lamar, also known as our beloved K. Dot, who made a few recent songs that showed he is in alignment with delineation of those who think they are like us, only to find out that they are not like us, especially when he states, "We do not want to hear you say the N word no more."
Come on. Kendrick is loved out here, man. And personally, I don't like actors or entertainers or people in the music business out here, but I do believe that we have some of them that are trying to help from the inside out. I believe that some of our people, they got involved in something they knew nothing about, and then now they're in a situation that they can't get out of, but they're still choosing to speak out. And I believe Kendrick Lamar is one of them, man. And I like that brother. I like that brother's music. I like how his music is codified. You got to really be from the culture to understand what he's saying. You may be able to rap his lyrics, but you might not understand everything he's saying. And that brother is culturally foundational Black American, and I believe he is saying things from the inside that's reaching the masses. So I rock with Kendrick hard, heavy.
I heard you said codified, and you really got to be from the lineage in order to understand. I want to say this to the lineage. Whenever our artists or we're on a public platform and we know what we're talking about and nobody else does, do not decode it. Why
Come
are we
on,
decoding stuff?
come on.
We have to hold our lineage, our customs, our sayings, our recipes, even uh, sacred. They're sacred. Hoodoo is sacred. Cut is sacred. Our soliloquies, whatever it is that makes us us, to where we're on a platform and they be totally confused. We don't have to give them the inside scoop. No more of that, y'all. Gatekeepers. So I want to ask you, too much. Did you agree with the Drake lawsuit of another rapper, or I believe it was his production company, maybe his label? And how do you think it will affect the integrity of the hip hop scene's unspoken codes?
Say that question. Do I believe with Drake for what?
Okay, did you agree with Drake? And I believe he brought a lawsuit uh, questioning Kendrick's streams. We know in hip hop, certain things are just not heard of. It's things that are considered taboo. How do you think that would affect the integrity of hip hop's unspoken codes?
Man, listen. I think everybody's stream should be audited. I'm actually not against it. I think his timing is obvious that he's on some hatred stuff, right? But I think all streams should be audited. We need to be audited because, man, how you know those are real streams and not bots? I think all streams need to be audited because I think a lot of the industry, what they do is they fake streams. because they're pushing out industry plants. They want you to believe that a person is bigger than what they really are. And who gets confused and who's being lied to? The audience. That's who. And we want everything to have integrity. So I'm okay with someone saying, "Hey man, I want to audit somebody's stream because I want to know if it's real or not too." And we should not be we should be very cautious and careful of industry plants pretending to be something that they are not and infiltrating our culture,
Okay.
cosplaying our culture, and you know, like I'll give a prime example. Mona Leo. I don't think she's a foundational Black American woman at all. We need to be cautious of anybody cosplaying our culture and sending out a different message other than delineation. When you start throwing some Pan African stuff on top of Solon, you're an op. You're an industry plant. When all your managers are tethers, and we caught them online saying disparaging thing about the Black community. You see what I'm saying? When you're culturally when your religious belief is African and not based in foundational we have to question that she should not be allowed to use Solon. She should not be here cosplaying as a Black foundational Black American woman if she's really African. If you're African, say that. Nothing wrong with being African, but don't come out here acting like you're us and then have 1,000 flags that don't have nothing to do with us in your profile talking about you want Black unity. We are not on that flat blackness no more. If it's either you're a foundational Black American, you're a Nigerian American, you're a Caribbean American, and that's it. It's all we are no longer promoting race. We are promoting ethnicity. What is your ethnicity? What is your lineage? That's what we're promoting. I'm a foundational Black American. Who are you?
Correct. And the Black Americans house that's old child. Mona Leo need to lay low.
And lay low. We gonna cancel her like with Tyler. You know what I'm saying? She gonna get canceled messing around with us. That's why her streams ain't even that great.
No, they're actually not. And shout out to all viral access media and KD1. KD1 made a hip hop song and it says we didn't ask for no background dancers. And all viral access media. And why am I forgetting the young lady's name? But her surname is James, and she sings "We Built This Nation." We built, and then I believe they're from New York. I'm so proud of us. We're answering the call as far as music. Mona Leo kind of messed it up. We were rooting for her. As far as her lineage, we do lineage checks and we do vibe checks, and sometimes the
Boom.
vibe ain't matching up. And she never responded once it was exposed what her management was saying and her label mate about foundational Black Americans, aka who they call the Akata.
Come on.
Right. So now this is the final question, then we'll get to your vibe check. What do you foresee or wish to foresee for the FBA community in the upcoming 5 years? It's a two-part question. And how will your music, code of conduct, your merch, and most importantly, FBA coin factor in?
Everything is going to be on the blockchain. Merch, uh, group economics, everything's on the block. That's what I see. The future is the blockchain. We are safe on the blockchain. The blockchain is fully transparent. The blockchain has true integrity. That's the way. See, whenever the playing field is level, whenever the rules are clearly defined, foundational Black American are always going to rise to the top. Whenever we're in a centralized system where someone can cut off the faucet, someone can manipulate the numbers, someone can bring in an industry plant or something like that, we are weak and we can be harmed. But the moment our lineage is verified, the moment we know who's who and what's what, we can shine and we can thrive. So as long as people are playing the centralized game where they can keep us into this rigged system, we won't win. But as long as the rules are clearly defined and we have true integrity and true transparency, you're always going to find foundational Black Americans naturally rise to the top. We are the cream of the crop. And that's just what it is. So how I see us in the future moving, we're moving everything on the blockchain. We're doing everything on a new system, and we're thriving. We're thriving. We're creating a ecosystem to where our money circulates in our community 365 plus days before it even touches the oppressor's hands or other groups' hands. I love how my brother Foundational practices the 85, the 80-20. I believe we need to be practicing the 80-20 needs to be law, and we probably need to be doing 90-10.
It's 85-15 too.
85-15. I'm sorry, Foundation. I didn't mean to mess it up. 85-15, but we probably need to be doing 95-5. There you go.
There we go. So I guess it was a three-part question, because what do you think that, do you think that FBA will ever fully unite with the diasporans of the globe? And I would like Afro Elite to answer that after you.
Okay, I'll say this. Not now. Not right now. I'll say not right now. Maybe in the distant future, maybe our kids. But if we do, it must be under the form of a treaty. We are no longer just doing things willy-nilly anymore. We need a defined treaty. How you treat us, how we treat you, how you're going to respect us, how we're going to respect you. What are we getting out of the deal, and what are you getting out of the deal? No longer are we just going to go over there and try to do business with y'all and get scammed. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And no longer are we going to accept the disrespect either. So not right now, and not for a long, long time. They woke us up. They poked this bear. They asked for this ass whooping, and we're going to continue to dish it out until they fully submit. And that's just what it is.
Thank you too much. Afro?
Well, to answer that, I'm going to say I can't speak for the future, but there is a possibility that in the future we can have a healthy relationship with them. And I think what we're doing now is we're setting up boundaries. What we need and what we've always needed is a relationship with people, whether that's business or personal, that has healthy boundaries. And right now, as of right now, they don't understand that. Because they're showing a lack of respect. They're showing intent to disrespect. They're showing intent. And when I say they, I do mean the tether class, not every single one of them, but the collective. This is the standard operating procedure. So right now they're not showing an intent to have healthy boundaries. All right. So if there is a case where they collectively and culturally do learn from that, we can have a relationship where there is healthy boundaries between us and Africa and us and the Caribbean and all of that. But as of right now, no. As of right now, we just have we have to keep the focus on where the focus needs to be. All right, and then once we get done here, once we get our assignments and our missions completed here, and we're not holding our breath for it, if they have changed their culture to the degree where we can maintain a healthy relationship, then I'm all for it. I'm for that. I'm for us being able to maintain a healthy relationship with the world. I feel like Foundation Black Americans should not be limited at all when it comes to geopolitics, because that's a huge access to power that I don't think we should be cut off from. However, when it comes to geopolitics, what happens a lot is we get exploited, and that's not healthy. So if they can engage us in a genuine and healthy manner with boundaries attached to it later on, because it's not going to happen now, and I don't predict any time soon at all, but later on, then possibly.
Thank you for that. That's what do you foresee for us in 5 years, Afro? Let me ask you that question too.
Okay. Do you mean as far as our relationship with Africa, or as far as
No,
Like,
just like, what do you foresee for foundational Black Americans in the upcoming 5 years? With all the activism you're doing, we see you with Miss Jackson, and really talking to or going at the mayor over there, Brandon Johnson, and things like that. What do you foresee for us within the next 5 years as foundational Black Americans?
well, I'll speak culturally because politically it can, politics it can go either way. I do think I will say one thing as far as politically speaking. I feel like we will have disaggregation on the paperwork. More than likely, we'll be disaggregated in our ethnic group on the American census, on pretty much on all paperwork, documentation, and all of that. So I feel like that will be a good accomplishment. I feel like that will be the legal or governmental disaggregation, and I feel like the social delineation will be almost written in stone, which is right now we're pushing for a legal disaggregation of data and numbers and statistics, and then social delineation to distinguish ourselves as our own ethnic group. I think that we will be doing that, which will get people's priorities to be realigned with maintaining and promoting the community. I think that Foundational's 85-15 thing will start to really catch steam. I feel like there will be a renaissance and like almost like multiple levels of Black Wall Street. Maybe not to the way, maybe not the way where there's just one black town and there's every black business, nothing but black businesses left and right. I don't think that will be the case in 5 years. I'm not saying it won't be the case ever. I feel like that will maybe be a case spread out throughout the nation, including online. I feel like foundational Black Americans will reach another Wall Street nationally, if you understand where I'm coming from, if that makes sense.
Yes, because I think digital is the way to go to. For the most part, we are making strides that way. So we can have a digital Black Wall Street. We really can. There's some talks where everybody is saying we should all move down to the South. I say that's illogical for the simple fact knowing my elders only visit the South, but they made a life here in the North. They don't want to relocate to the South. Not everybody wants to go back to the South. And we do know what happens when we're in a concentrated area. So you do need some survivalists and strategists outside of the South, in case anything pops off like that. That's what I'm saying. But for me, I plan to go back to the South, but my family doesn't. So digitally, with information, we know where to go protest. We know where to stomp the yard at. We know who's doing good things. It's so much better with the information and technology that we have now. And we also have FBA directories, such as melroseradio.com. His site is under construction. However, you can still go there. He has New York Black American businesses there. He has some in Georgia, some here, some there. So we are making strides online to improve our group economics. So I'm with you when you say online and even physically a few more Black towns, right? Because we have them in the South, correct?
Yeah. I don't is I don't know if I'm hearing something in the background. I'm not. Hold
Yeah,
on, let me.
it's music. My jazz music. It sets the
No,
tone.
my bad. No,
Okay. All right. He's in a very busy area.
but yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I
Okay.
feel like we will be more modernized. I feel like this conversation was 100% necessary because we do need to be ahead of the times. We do need to be able to accurately predict where society will go and then be able to set up the seeds so we can place ourselves in society and be functional people in society. So I agree with that. I think online is the thing. I feel like a lot of what we need is proper advertisement. We're already the most watched culturally, the most influential. So we just need to be consistent with it, be thorough, try to dispel the stigma of black business. That's a bad issue that we have that's been put upon us. That black businesses are always lackluster, always low quality, always janky. Something always wrong with it. So we have to work to dispel that. And I think more and more we're starting to.
He got a call, y'all.
Yeah, that brother's busy. Brother's busy
Yeah,
man.
I think for the most part, the support black business movement were co-opted, right? And a lot of people then started saying, who used to say, "I'm Jamaican, I'm Haitian, I'm Nigerian, I'm
Hmm.
Ghanaian, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Latino." All of a sudden, became black, and I'm wondering because we do know a lot of people are complaining about the Jamaican restaurants. When we walk in there, they always got an attitude and stuff. And I'm wondering when they say black, are they considering those businesses within our customer service skills? We have too many. Oh, thank you, Living La Vida. She says, "I love the jazz music. So nice." We have over 100,000 black owned businesses, right? Not all of them got bad customer service, y'all, especially if y'all in New York, diverse places where you go into an Asian restaurant and they have bulletproof glass up, where they following you around the store, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the vibe check because Afro he is very busy, and I do appreciate him coming by. He does plan to go live after this. So are you ready? Too much.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the vibe check. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And when I was doing this, I said, "Dang, I don't know too much about Cali culture, but from what I do know, I think I came up with some good questions."
Okay.
Now, shish kebab, street corn, shrimp tacos, or puff puff?
Oh man, well, not the shish kebab, not the puff puff, but we definitely gonna go street corn or street tacos, man. That's just what it is out here. Yeah, street corn is awesome. Street tacos is awesome too. It's kind of a toss up, man. It kind of depends on what day, what mood I'm in, but either street corn or street tacos for sure.
Can you explain what they are for those who are listening and may not
So,
know?
so this, we have a lot of Mexican food out here. And it's I ain't gonna lie, it's great. It's great. The street tacos, that's like them TJ tacos. That's like them corn, the small tortilla shells with the meat inside, and you have cilantro. You have cilantro, onions, grilled onions, and you have your tomatoes, I forgot what it's called right now, but you have all that in those street tacos right there. Those are delicious. And then street corn, me personally, I don't like anything with mayo on it, but I love the butter and I love the Parmesan cheese and I love the tahine or the pico de gallo on those tacos and or on those street corns, and I just I eat them up, man. Them is the business. So I'll go with the street corn or street tacos for sure.
I gotta ask you, just because I'm a little, troublemaker
Yeah.
at times. Black people taco or the other taco?
Let me tell you something. We make better tacos than them. There's a brother that was he opened up his own taco truck and he was killing it. I mean, killing it. The brother was doing some awesome things with his taco truck. So to be honest with you, if you want to be truthful, we make better tacos. Black people make better tacos than the Mexicans. That's just what it is. That's just facts. And that's no disrespect. That's no disrespect. But we put our own stuff on it, and let's be real, man, it's delicious. So I can't remember the brother's name that opened up his taco truck, but it was very, very popular, and he was doing it big. So yeah, we make better tacos for sure.
Okay, thank you for that. And y'all notice a lot of times too much be eaten during his lives. So make sure you go into his live or with a full stomach. Oh, there goes KD1. I was just speaking on your
I'm gonna
song,
stop that, by
KD1.
the way. I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop eating during my life.
I'm joking. Go ahead, go ahead. You work hard. So Joe Loft, Jambalaya, or Dirty Rice?
It's gonna be jambalaya, man. It ain't gonna be no jollof. And I don't got nothing against dirty rice, but it's gonna be jambalaya for sure, for sure, all day, every day. Yeah, we going with jambalaya.
Hey, yeah, I agree with you. The Black Americans house. I know what bless your heart mean. Okay, no, bless your heart when I'm talking. Um, so Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz Island in San Francisco, or visit the Hollywood sign.
Well, I'm not visiting the Hollywood sign, but I would say Golden Gate Bridge, and I would say the pier in San Francisco all day long. The what is it? They have this little bread. I can't even think of it. I don't know why I'm losing it, but they have what is it called? They have this clam chowder. The clam chowder with in the bread on the pier in San Francisco, top notch, amazing. So yeah, we're gonna go with San Francisco, the pier, all day, every day.
That's what's up. So Katie1 says, song getting uploaded tonight. It'll be available by Saturday. Please comment the exact title so I can say it before I end this broadcast. And shout out to Black American Proverb, who's also Brother Divine of the U.S. Freedmen's Project. I have been commenting the links, and I will comment it after I ask this question. Please participate. And his call to action is to help New York disaggregate from the rest of the population, such as the Caribbeans and the Africans. Also, to repeal the New York City race-based reparations, because everybody and their mama, even the Latinos, showed up talking about they migrated here and their back hurts now and they deserve reparations. So we're trying to knock that out. And Brother Divine has really been stomping the yard along with Sister Brooke and the elders of the U.S. Freedmen's Project. And they are New York based and not associated with anybody else. So please don't get it confused. They are their own entity and they really put in the work. And honest to you too, Brother Divine. And Katie's song is KD1, Don't Act, Knock It Off, in parentheses, will be uploaded and available by Saturday. So now I gotta ask you, we're gonna go to your cinematic taste. So, Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, or Devil in a Blue Dress?
Ooh, it can either go Boys in the Hood or Poetic Justice. To be honest with you, that's like definitely. I like Devil in the Blue Dress is cool, but Boys in the Hood, it would probably be Boys in the Hood. Just to be honest with you, Boys in the Hood, Boys in the Hood. But Poetic Justice is coming in very, very close. Very, very. If not, it can go either or sometimes too. But Boys in the Hood for sure, for sure.
Okay, we're gonna skip to your musical taste. Now, I may have put too many groups on here, but I just couldn't pick one or the other, right? And so I want you to list them with number one being your ultimate fave. So you have NWA, Cypress Hill, The Far Side, Digital Underground, Ghetto Boys, and I had to throw some New Yorkers up in here. Jungle Brothers, Houdini, and the South. Outcasts, No Limit, and Cash Money. And you don't have to put them all if you don't remember, but who stands out to you out of those names? Who would be your
Well,
ultimate pick?
NWA, Ghetto Boys, Outcast, Houdini. Um, yeah, those stand out right away. Um, No Limit for sure. You know, yeah, those stand out right away. But putting them in order, I think would be difficult because even though I'm from the West Coast, I like Houdini, man. I ain't gonna, we not gonna front and act like that. NWA, that was iconic. That was like our street journalist. Telling that's when Ice Cube was really at it at I think at his best. And No Limit. I respect Master P because he came out the trunk with his. Master P came out here on the West Coast and threw some tapes in our cars. Like, here, bump this, and he was he was very confident that his music was popping, even though it wasn't West Coast flavor. But just the fact that he was out the trunk with his and meeting the people where they are, that was impressive, man. So yeah, man, Outkast, man, I always love Outkast. Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh, so fresh and so clean. That's my mood song right there. So yeah, all those songs right there, those songs stand out right away.
Do you know that FBA Vamp, who created the first ever declared, I'm gonna say declared because you always provided a safe space for us too much. FBA Safe Space did a top, I think it was 25 hip hop or group, and then hip hop artists. And both my lists, they laughed at. They said it was ancient in all New York, and they were surprised that I had Tupac on there. But guess what? Tupac was born in New York. I did have T.I., y'all.
I mean, man. But you know what? You know what I love about Tupac, man. He embodied the West Coast when he came out. It's like he was very good at embodying and soaking up and learning and understanding the culture out here on the West Coast. And I think his activism spirit with our West Coast flavor. That's what made us really rock with that brother so much, man. He was. He had one of them electrifying personalities, and I said it already, man. If Tupac would have stayed in the Bay, man, he may not have been as big as he was, but I think he would have been. But he would have still been alive today.
Yes, his activism was amazing, right? And a lot of his speeches I just used to love to listen to. Interviews, rather. Not so much speeches, but interviews. And I remember calling into when Nancy Grace used to have her nighttime shows. I forget the name of it. And they were talking about him. I believe Dolores C. Tucker was going after the gangster lyrics. Now, in hindsight, I believe she did have a credible point, right? My whole thing was don't put it only on Tupac to say the clean thing when it starts at home. So I literally called into a show in defense of Tupac. Tupac stands, and my uncle heard me. But my uncles were cool. Well, some of them are still alive, so they are cool. But I want you to put these singers in order, with number one being your ultimate fave. And I do have a lot on this. Like, I couldn't leave off certain people, but I just think they're no-brainers. So there's Stephanie Mills, Anita Baker, Mariah Carey, Patti LaBelle, Betty White, Alicia Myers, Regina Bell, Phyllis Hyman, Diana Ross, Whitney Houston, Beyonce, Aaliyah, or Aretha Franklin.
Man, you gotta go. I gotta put all of them in order.
No. Whatever sticks out to you, tell me. Just tell me who would be on your playlist.
It's definitely Stephanie Mills, Anita Baker, Aretha Franklin, Beyonce, Aaliyah, of course. Those stick out. Who else? But give me some more names, because those names stick out that I can remember right now. But give me some more names.
I
Oh,
have
Diana Ross. Diana
yeah,
Ross.
Whitney, Phyllis
Whitney, of
Hyman.
course. Whitney. Yeah, Whitney is definitely up there. If not, but she's top three easily. Top one. She could be 1, 2, or 3.
I was gonna leave her off because how could you, Whitney? Like
Yeah,
Whitney, the great
Whitney.
Whitney. I just
Whitney
felt like
was
I didn't want to sabotage nobody else.
Whitney before Bobby was, Whitney was Whitney. She was doing her thing. She can blow. So,
Yeah.
but who else?
There's
Uh,
Diana Ross,
I
Phyllis
said her.
Hyman, Betty
Okay.
White.
Okay. I'm a roll with what I got. Everybody on that list is phenomenal. Everybody that you named on that list is foundational Black American talented.
Hmm.
They can sing like they not pretending.
Right.
They really got pipes, and I want to give honor to all of them. But I'll go with the names that I named right off the bat, though. Yeah, I'll keep that.
Okay. And the Black American House says Whitney is Whitney, and she used to live in Georgia too. He's from Georgia, so you know. And Phyllis Hyman used to live in Manhattan. Yes. And I see you, Porty. Shout out to you. So now I want you to put these soul singer groups, and these are some that I grew up with. So when they say, "What was your Saturday music like?" Some of these artists would be on that list. So and you could tell us who you prefer or who would be on your playlist instead of
Okay,
arranging
let's
them.
see. Let's see if you got this right. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
So I got the OJs, Temptations, Stylistics, Delphonics, Intruders, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Ike and Tina Turner, Earth, Wind and Fire, Frankie Beverly and Mays, the Staple Singers, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan, the Isley Brothers, Sly and the Family Stone, Diana Ross and the Supremes.
All of
Yeah, man. You can't pick one or the other,
all
right?
of them. All all. I mean, those are giants on there. So especially, man, that's my shower song. Is I Got Sunshine.
I got
That,
sunshine.
that's my song. I sing in the shower.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when I'm in the shower. I sound like I sound like them. I sound like all the greats. But you could have put Bill Weathers on there. You know what I'm saying? You could have put Sam Cooke on there. You know what I'm saying? But all of them, Gladys Knight and the Pips, OJ's, come on, man.
Yeah.
Uh, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Come on, man. I mean, those are the songs that I grew up to listening to. That my dad would play on a Sunday, Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all of them,
Yeah.
all of them,
So
all of
now
them. But
we're gonna
go
go
ahead.
to old school soul movies. Either they were no, I don't think I put fictional on here. And you just tell me what movies may be your ultimate fave, or if you would, watch all of them. So I have 1975 original Sparkle, Lady Sings the Blues, Ray, Temptations, Cadillac, Respect, which was about Aretha Franklin, and Get On Up, which was about James Brown's life. Which movie?
Uh, Get On Up, Cadillac, um, Sparkle. Um, I'm trying to remember them now. Now it's just about to remember them. But all of them are good movies. All of them I've seen. You know. So yeah, I would say all of them, man. But I can't remember them all. Those are the ones that stick out for sure. Um,
Oh,
oh, the Temptations, of course. That movie. Yeah, come on, man. All of them, man. Ain't
so
nobody here to see you, Otis.
right. Listen, I never knew DOC was from Texas, but then he,
Yeah.
relocated to.
hmm
So the next question is about him. DOC or Mac 10?
DOC.
All right. Mahalia Jackson or Miriam Makeba?
Mahalia Jackson.
Air conditioner units or central air?
Central Air, man. We're gonna go Central Air. Sorry.
Okay. Low riders or Harley Davidsons?
Low Riders.
Rodeo or trail ride?
Rodeo.
If there was an apocalypse in America, where would you escape to and why? Here's your choices: the Caribbean, which island, or the African continent, what country?
If there was an apocalypse,
Yes.
I would probably escape to Kenya. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I'd probably escape to Kenya if
Okay,
I had
why
to choose.
Kenya?
Probably because I've been there multiple
Okay.
times. I know it better than, and they're more adept to black culture, and they have 5G internet over there, and it's pretty modernized over there.
Oh, okay. I
hmm
learned something new.
Yeah, shout out to
Chitlins,
Kenya. Shout out to Kenya. We ain't all haters. Shout out to Kenya.
right. Chitlins, ham hocks, pork chops, slab of ribs, kielbasa sausage, or pig feet. What's your choice of pork?
No pork. Zero. At all. At
Oh,
all. No pork whatsoever. I'll be
okay.
I'll be vegan that day. I
Okay.
will be fasting. I will be fasting.
So I have gumbo, beef stew, or egusi soup.
It's gonna be gumbo all day, man. All day. And I'll do the beef stew before I do the egusi anything. It's gonna be gumbo first though. Beef stew second.
Okay. Um, so I have this, your choice of beef. Would it be beef ribs, T-bone steak, filet mignon, or flank steak? With what type of condiment? Ketchup, barbecue sauce, or horseradish?
I'm a little bougie. I'm gonna go with the filet mignon only because that stuff melts in your mouth and you can cut it with a butter knife. And I like horseradish, so I'm gonna go with the horseradish.
Ah, that's what's up. My dad used to have horseradish too.
Yeah, I like
What's up,
horseradish.
Trev? What's up, Mary? What's up, the Negro? Go ahead, too much.
No, I just said I like horseradish. Yeah, I'm with it.
Okay. So this is the final question. So finally, I have limited knowledge about Cali life besides what people I have met online have told me, and some of what I see in Hollywood films. So as a native Californian, plan the ultimate trip for a New Yorker such as myself who would like to experience the California FBA culture. Now I have to tell you though, it seems the barbecues and cookouts look very dope. So please incorporate one into the ultimate sightseeing package and be sure to tell me the church ladies' names of who will make the macaroni and cheese, potato salad, and the dressing.
Okay, anybody named Miss Jenkins, you want them making your potato salad dressing. Anybody named Miss Jenkins from the church, you want them to make that potato salad. Um, if you want the ultimate black experience in California, it would definitely be probably at Leimert Park. We would have to go to Leimert Park. We'd have to have a barbecue, cookout. We'd have to do it big. You're gonna get the full black experience, the black cookout experience over there, and it's gonna be popping. It's gonna be popping, and you're gonna get the full. You're gonna get not just the black experience, but the California experience because there's gonna be multiple ethnicities over there. So yeah, I would say, and make sure Miss Jenkins is cooking the mac and cheese and the potato salad. Don't let nobody else cook it but Miss Jenkins.
Thank you too much. I want to shout out Dred the Negro. How are you? I believe this is your first time on my panel. So what I do here, because I am a journalist and I mod for a lot of like heavy, I call them heavyweights, right? That put in the work for the lineage. What I decided to do was put my degrees to use and interview the lineage to amplify their voices. So that's my goal of my platform.
Okay, awesome. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I am currently in the hospital, so if you hear anything
Yeah.
behind me, it's everybody talking. But how to heal intralineage issues, combating genocide. I think we
That's
do exactly
ethnocide. Ethnocide.
or ethnocide.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so I believe we do what we're doing in the city, what Too Much Moxie is, and myself are doing across the country. Healing has to do with recognizing, first of all, what we are healing from, right? A lot of our people don't even know they're still residing inside the burning house that MLK Jr. warned us about, right? So I think recognizing those issues is key. And number two, really kind of finding ourselves in refuge inside the enclave we've created for ourselves, strictly lineage based. I think coming to ourselves, sticking to ourselves, and really focusing on our issues needs to be number one. So I would say delineation, like everyone said, and just finding refuge in each other, in the family that we're creating in real time as we speak. If that makes sense, sister.
That makes absolute sense. Now you mentioned hospital. Are you sick or are you visiting or do you work there? Just to make sure you're okay.
No, no, ma'am. I have MS, and I traveled across the country, kind of jumped out the window with no parachute, and now I'm, kind of dealing. I have MS, so I have multiple sclerosis, and I'm really just trying to get the baseline that I was at in Washington, where I came from before I moved. Trying to find that baseline out here in Delaware, in Wilmington, and find the right facility, hospital to take care of me. So, but I'm okay. I'm just in here trying to get to that baseline. But I'm all right, sister.
Okay, as long as you're all right. And if anybody has, you know, a name, a reputable name to recommend to Brother the Negro, please contact me. Or if you know him, even send him a message. So I am wrapping down or winding down this
Hey,
interview.
that Negro. You know who you need to holler at out there in Wilmington, Delaware?
Who's that?
Are you ready for? Go ahead and give Dr. Umar a call, man. While you out there, brother.
Oh shit! Oh hell no!
Then
Doctor
I let
I
Dr.
Umar,
wasn't
Umar,
expecting
man.
that name. Peace, Kokalani.
too much got jokes.
Yeah. So, too much. Do you have any final words for the interview?
No, man. I guess if I have final words, I would say, hey, it's my desire that everybody checks out fbacoin.org. Uh, Hop into our Telegram. You can join our Telegram from going to fba.org, and my desire that you guys know that we are coming out with our own cryptocurrency. It's a community lineage based token. It's phenomenal. It does everything we needed to do and wanted to do and more. And I just want people to know about that and do their due diligence. And whatever comfort level they feel at when we reach the $1 million market cap, when we reach the $10 million market cap, or if you want to just get in early at the floor, this is the time. So I want everybody to do their due diligence, get up to date with cryptocurrency and the blockchain, and understand that is foundational Black Americans' future right there. And that's
There
it.
goes Eagles fan. Thank you too much. And I want to tell y'all this. I got in at the ground floor, y'all. I'm a bronze tiered founder.
Come on, shout out to BX, man. Come on.
Yes,
And we
yes.
only got one diamond tier left, y'all. We only got one diamond tier left. So I'm really excited to put out the notice on who's going to get the last diamond. But we got some bronze, some silver, some gold, and some platinum left. But the diamond tier, only one left in the diamond tier. So I'm excited about that.
So I gotta make this. I want to just say this. I do not promote to y'all what I don't use or don't intend on using. For me, I was a little skeptical about cryptocurrency just because of things that I saw on Instagram. However, I am in too much's Telegram. I attend the group chat. I've even invested my change, into becoming a bronze founder. I got in on the ground level, so I do believe in Brother Too Much, Brother Marcus, and Brother Foundational American is in there.
Yes,
But
indeed.
like he said, do your due diligence, and if it's something that's in alignment for you, then come on and join the family. But I gotta ask you this, Too Much. Is there a vetting process? Are you only working with FBA? Because that's an app that anybody could just come into. What do you have a vetting
Yeah.
process?
We want our founders of the NFT to definitely be a foundational Black American. But once we launch, it's open for anybody and everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You're gonna want to. You're gonna want to invest in this coin. I mean, even though this coin is going to benefit foundational Black Americans, it has a rewards feature just for holding this coin. And I don't want to go into too much detail. I'll just say go to the website. Go to the website and get the information there. And if you want me to be very direct and answer it very plainly, just join our Telegram and ask me the question directly. I'm active in the Telegram. We got over 100 people in the Telegram, and it's phenomenal. So this coin is designed to create generational wealth and lock in our currency into the ecosystem. So it allows our currency to circulate in our community. It has a treasury attached to it that's divided into the pillars of the powernomics. We have a media department. We have a justice department. We have an educational bucket. We have an economics bucket. We are set up to fund foundational Black American future, and our goal is to truly become to be operating as a sovereign people. We don't want to be integrated anymore. We choose sovereignty. We don't want to be erased or diluted or watered down. We choose to protect our lineage and our heritage, and that's how we're going to do it.
So, Brother Eagles fan, I did shout you out earlier and told everybody how you funded my on-location field shooting endeavor. He states, I also trade and use brokerage accounts as my savings act. I analyze and recharge. So we are tapping in economically, group economics, and we do have foundational Black Americans that are willing to fund our endeavors. Like I said, Booker T. Washington stressed self-reliance. Some of us do need to be funded. For me, I just hate crowdfunding. But I will participate in crowdfunding if that makes sense. I will make donations, and by the grace of God, He imparted on Brother Eagles fan for me to take those courses. So I'll be able to go out into the field because I'm a writer, right? I'm a journalist. I write and I edit. But I'll be able to go out in the field with my own equipment, and hopefully my son will be part of my team, and we build a nice communication firm and shoot shows and stuff from there. So we have a lot of options open to us. We are doing things behind the scenes. If you're a foundational Black American, please get in touch with me, Brother Too Much. Hey, if you know Afro Elite, ask him some questions about group economics. What I hate seeing is all the money that they're just giving away in New York. They have an Office of New Americas. They are revitalizing parks that I didn't even know was there. They're doing X, Y, Z. And meanwhile, saying the immigrants built New York, but we know there was an enslaved population there, along with the indigenous and the free people of color who built New York. So I'm not willing to fund people who do not acknowledge history in this nation, especially in diverse places. It's ethnocide, it's erasure, and it hurts. But thankfully, we have people who are stepping to the forefront and we're combating this. Um, and then I believe we're effective and we're making great strides. I dropped some links in the chat. Hold my comments down, copy the links to your clipboard, enter it into the web browser. Please participate. It's going to take numbers to beat this thing in states such as Cali, New York, Massachusetts is pushing for a Freedmen's Bureau. We have a self-identifier Black American Negro descendants of freedmen, which takes away the African American. However, it needs reinforcing. So please participate in that. The U.S. Freedmen's Project is trying to repeal the race-based reparations because we need lineage-based, and they want to disaggregate us from the Caribbeans and the Africans so we can see where the harm is and what we do need. And on that note, the Negro, do you have any last words? I'm going to end the live at this point.
No, ma'am. Thank you for the space. Thanks for the knowledge. I'm trying to get down in the chat, but I can't see those links. If you could maybe just message them to me so I can share them and make sure to set them up. But yeah, each one teach one. And again, great space. I appreciate y'all. Too much, you already know. And yeah, look forward to getting another invite coming in here and soaking up some knowledge.
Sure. Also, shout out to Afro Elite. I believe he is going live pretty soon. Yes, good night, Eagles fan. I love when he comes and he sits and provides his insight. He really activates in real life. So does Too Much, so does the Negro. And these are the people that we need to tap into to help us circumvent some of the things we're going through, and also to understand why it is we're going through what we're going through. I'm considered an elder now. Solon has named me an elder. And I got to tell you, I look to the younger generations at times in debates and for knowledge. So I don't like ageism. I don't practice ageism, meaning I don't weaponize my age against y'all. I respect all of us of the lineage, and especially those doing the work. I land there, or I'll keep you here all night just saying goodbye. I love us for real. So peace, love, light, reparations, and an anti-hate crime bill for foundational Black Americans. I'll catch you on these apps, on these panels where I'll be cutting up as I moderate. All right, y'all. One peace.
Peace out.